Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Silver. Our guest today is Henry Weingarten. Henry is the managing director at the Astrologers Fund. Welcome back to Wall Street Silver, sir.
And fun times in the precious metal space.
Yeah, it's been exciting times, and that's why I wanted to get you back on. And we'll get straight into it. You sent me some slides here to my email that you wanted to go through with Wall Street Silver, and I'm going to pop that up here right away. So, what are we looking at here, Henry?
Well, that's just
Oh, this is the part one, part two, part three for all of our
yeah,
episodes.
that's just remind people if they like this, they should catch the earlier sessions.
All right, here we go.
Okay, the first point is this. When we were here before, we were slightly, as traders, somewhat bearish on gold and silver at
Right.
34 silver, and when gold was over 2,700. We thought it would certainly break down, which it did very well. And the primary reason is gold, when it gets above 23, 2,400, is trading because of crises.
Right.
And when Trump was elected, the likelihood of World War III dropped dramatically.
Right.
And that's why gold and silver went down. But as you know, just 2 days ago, our government decided, hey, we're going to go let missiles go into Russia, World War III be damned.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
yesterday, as soon as that happened, we put a buy on gold at 2,600, and it's already up $50. This was our first step. We'll probably get to about 2,700, but then I think people are going to find that Trump is going to come back in and it will drop again. But
Right.
if you're just doing it as a market hedge, it's certainly, they're both very good. But on a short-term basis, once we get rid of this World War III issue, which I hope we do,
Right.
then it will be dropping for a while. So that's
Right.
number one, the crisis. And you'll see that in our view, gold is only worth 2262. But if you notice down below is a crisis, it's worth 2,800. So
Uh,
as long as there's a strong threat of World War III, we can keep going up.
right,
But
right.
once
That makes
that's
sense.
gone, we're going to drop down.
Mm-hmm. And
In our
inflation,
view,
an inflation medal.
as inflation, it's worth about 2,000. Now that keeps moving up. These things change every week.
Right, right.
But it is, we're going to see more inflation than people are admitting, but it's a little early because the Fed may still lower it one more time. Our view in the beginning of the year, when everyone said 6 times, we said 2 to 3 times the Fed would move.
Right.
In my view, they should not move. I always know what the Fed should do, I believe, but not what they will do.
Right.
Now, with silver and gold, it's worth, in our view, about $28 at the moment, but it certainly can go back to 38, or excuse me, back to 34 or 38. But then
Right.
it's overvalued. But it can stay overvalued for many years. And for many years, silver was very undervalued.
Right.
But that's it. So it depends on why you're buying it, as a trade or as an investment. Right now, silver is a little bit overvalued, but I think it's going to go up, whereas gold is overvalued, and at a certain point, I think it's going to drop.
So
So,
it says here, stay long precious metals both as an investment and a
oh, absolutely.
portfolio.
If you're looking as a longer term investment, if you're
Right.
looking at it as a portfolio hedge, yes, there's no need to sell anything.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
they can go up and down 10, 20%. That's a lot of money.
Now it says true
Now,
or false.
There's about $15 trillion worth of physical gold in the world sitting there costing money rather than being used. It's just absolutely insane. Monetary Metals is bringing gold back into the financial world, putting gold to productive use right now. The problem with gold, of course, in physical form is that it's heavy, it's cumbersome, it's not particularly easy to ship, and it costs money to store in a protected manner. This platform Monetary Metals created is a proven concept and allows gold to be put to productive use, so that instead of sitting there costing you money, it's actually in use earning you money.
Learn how you can earn 2 to 5% in our leasing program and how accredited investors can earn up to 12% on silver paid in silver. This advertisement is not investment or financial advice. Minimum investment applies.
just the highlighting this part. The Russian central bank is not adding silver. That was everyone had, you saw that on the net. What they did, and this is thanks to Jeffrey Christian, is they're adding more silver to their stockpile, but they're not adding it in the same way that they're adding gold. It was a misinformation. Now, there are lots of reasons to own silver, but that's not one of them.
Really? Okay, that's
And
super interesting.
so this is different than most people saying. And if you look at the slide, you can check with CPM group, which he does it. That's not what the guy said. They're adding silver to the strategic stockpile. That's very different than adding it,
Right.
along with euros and stuff. So that was we believe it was a false piece of information.
Right. And you guys expect the BRICS currency to be backed by gold.
Well, no, you see, not anytime soon.
Ah, okay.
Yes, this is another reason. We were very concerned about what the BRICS would do. Now, there is
Right.
more country to country direct outside of US dollar. There is more buying of gold. That's true. But it's not as large as people are expecting. So if you expect $3,000 or $4,000 gold, either the BRICS have to be buying it or we got to be close to World War III. It's not going to happen in our view short term. Short term meaning the next year.
And Jeffrey Christian saying gold is not mentioned in the BRICS summit statement.
BRICS summit, yeah. So the point is, yes, all those people are buying gold. They're buying less US dollars, but it's not enough to push it beyond where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a long-term view, but it's not here immediately. Now, this is the big problem with everything you have to think about for the next 2 years. I was just at a meeting where they're talking about how, all the stocks are going to go up, but they're ignoring the $36 trillion debt of the US. It was 35 when we talked last 2 weeks
Yes,
ago. Now it's 36.
36 trillion is insane, Henry.
Right. And 100. So the point is, this has to be dealt with. Can't be ignored. It can be ignored for another year or two, but that's it. So we have high recession odds or big slowdown.
Right.
And we have stagflation. We have pockets of things that are going up. I have lots of things that were $10 that are $12 now, things that are a quarter of 40 cents. But there are other things, but there is going to be a lot of discounting and a lot of multi-tier pricing, which means buy smart on the net because you may buy it for $10 cheaper than someone else.
And there's going to be a lot of shrinkflation.
Right, trickflation. I like that. Yes, a lot of trickflation.
So the three favorite A fund investment ideas.
Right. We like gold and silver.
Yeah.
For next year, we like entertainment.
Like, what are you talking about entertainment? Like stocks entertainment or
things? Look, if people start running out of money, people are still spending a lot of money. As of next year, they're not going to spend as much. And if you notice, some of the very, very high-end luxury goods are not selling as well. They're selling in the super luxury area, but not in the high-end area. It's dropping in China and elsewhere. So entertainment, what do you do when you're home? You watch Netflix.
Oh yeah, and YouTube, Netflix, of course.
Exactly.
And if there's ever an economic slowdown, like what happened with COVID again, then absolutely people will go to entertainment.
Right. It won't be that extreme, but you can entertain. Now, we're suggesting a reasonable amount of cash for income, for distress, deep value, and special situations. Now, it depends on how much money you have.
Right.
If you were able to buy in October 2022, when the market was down, you had enough money to buy, that's fine. But if you're heavily margined and you're not going to have the opportunities when the markets are seriously down, we think you should raise some cash.
Absolutely.
Now, astrologically, there are some situations. It's called the Saturn Neptune, which is a rock on a cloud. Okay. That's happening next year and the year after, especially. Think of the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Uh-huh.
Or if you're a mining person, the collapse of Bre-X, which, by the way, we called 2 weeks in advance before Bre-X collapsed.
Really?
$140 to zero.
What's that? But, no way. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we did that astrologically based on its horoscope. So the point is, we're going to be near recession, but probably for the first half of 2026. It's still very serious times.
Right.
Now, precious metal companies are manufacturers. Why pay $30 for silver when I can buy it for 15 or 10 or 5 as a company?
Like in the ground.
You have to be careful.
Like in the ground.
Basically, not the companies that are actually producing are getting it at half off.
Right. So that totally makes sense. Buy the producer, so that way you're getting it.
But you have to watch the companies. Some are good, some aren't. You have to know what you're doing.
Right.
So, but they're like manufacturers. Remember, everything they do, everything they manufacture, they sell. They just can't control the price. Mm-hmm. But every product is sold.
All righty. What are we seeing?
And basically, I've said this before, and I'm not saying to sell silver if you have the money. Have some gold and silver stocks, some good ones. We think makes sense. And even if gold goes to 3,000 and silver to 50, you'll find that buying the right stocks will be double or triple the performance, in our view. So it's to look at it, or consider selling a little bit. That's all. If you didn't, if you're not happy about the fact it went from 2,700 to 2,550, and you didn't want to make that 10%, you don't care about it, then ignore that advice. But if you
Okay.
care about 10 to 20%,
Right.
1
If
to
you're a
2 or 3
long-term,
times a
if
year,
you're a long-term stacker who doesn't want to sell their silver and
don't
gold,
worry about it.
right, don't
Then you
worry
can
about
do
it.
add-on every month if you want to. But that's
Absolutely.
not going to give you the best performance.
Right. But if you're looking to actually be a trader or actually make profits
Then you have to
daily,
do it.
yeah, you're
Yes,
going to have to take
absolutely.
those profits.
And
Absolutely.
hedge. We
Now,
dealt with this before. How
how
much
much
is
is
in
in,
gold and silver
right,
depends on how bearish you are.
right,
I would say the moment about 15%, 20% makes sense.
right
Uh,
at
we,
this
we
moment.
covered that previously. But if, when things get better, I would reduce it. When things get worse, I'd increase it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, survive in 25 markets.
Survive
2025 will
and
be a
thrive in
stock pick.
25.
Oh, survive and
So,
thrive.
yeah, we basically precious metals, stressed. There are now commercial real estate that's going 20 cents on the dollar, assuming you've got a spare 20 million or 30 million. Most of us don't have that.
No.
But the point is, there are going to be many opportunities because banks are tightening up their credit. You're starting to see, and they're going to tighten more next year. And there'll be, there's a lot of stress, anything's distressed. So we have a lot of cash involved. So when the shit hits the fan or close to the fan, we can jump in. And I'll
Yeah.
give an example of a trade we did when Trump, DJT, went down to $12. We said buy it and tripled in less than a month.
Yeah. No, that's
You know,
incredible. It's incredible how you called that other mining one
yeah.
as well 2 weeks
But we have to
before.
watch it, and you have to see what we like to do is when all the bad news or all the good news is built in, then we come in. So, for
Yeah.
example, as we're talking today, NVIDIA, it did have good returns. I don't think it's going to go up from here. I'm not going to short it, but I think it's enough to start moving markets down because so much good news is built in.
Right.
So
Over the
if
years and absolutely.
right, so and if something has all sorts of bad news built in, then it's hard to get worse. So we like to play extremes.
Yeah, no, you absolutely nailed it, Henry. Like what a
Yeah.
great wealth of knowledge, but we have still 3, 4 slides left. I do want to
Okay.
keep it to another, I want to connect these episodes and these series all together so that way maybe we can get up to 6 episodes or 9 episodes in a series. Yeah, so that
Is that
way,
a numerology of it? Six and
yeah,
nine? I mean,
there we go. We can go by threes. But yeah, I'll absolutely love to do that with you.
okay.
For everyone watching, where can people connect with you?
Well, basically, we have a website and we have a YouTube account. And what I'd recommend also, we're just preparing our December 21st year-end forecast, which you can check last year. It's on our YouTube at Henry Weingarten.
Right.
Only 1,000 people can come in if they want to see it live. If they want to see it a couple of days later, we put it up and like 20, 30,000 people look at it.
And you sent me
Um,
that link, and the link is going to
Yeah,
be
we
for
have that link,
everyone.
which hopefully you'll put in the description.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Everyone.
but there we go into detail. It's an hour and a half.
Yeah,
And we
that's
also have a few companies presenting that we like.
that's
That we've not necessarily to buy that day, but to be watched. And some you should buy that day, but most you should be watching. And when there's an appropriate good or bad news, jump in.
so there's
Like we
only
did yesterday when this situation happened, even though we were
right.
sort of bearish on gold, I didn't sell it. We thought we would get to 2,500, not 2,550. We were waiting. But as soon as the news came in, we didn't get $38, but we got the rest from 2,600, and we're
Yeah.
going to make money.
Yeah,
Just
no,
for watching it.
that's incredible. So everyone watching, highly recommend. The link is in the description below. There's only 1,000 people who can get in, so I recommend getting in now. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button on our video. And then yeah, I really appreciate everyone watching. And Henry, thank you so much. I'd love to have you back on for the other
Okay.
slides, so we can continue the other slides.
Okay, we'll finish it. We'll finish it off one more
Yeah,
slide.
yeah,
Absolutely.
awesome.
So just remember one thing. The important thing
Right.
is we are going into a recessionary-like environment over the next year and a half. And we also, this euphoria is going to be ending, and we'll talk about that next time, before 65 days from today.
Yeah, no, super
It may be
incredible.
tomorrow, it may be 65 days, but it's ending.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. We're gonna keep the eye on the ball, and we'd love to have you back on soon to talk about it, just so you could say you told us so.
Okay.
Awesome.
I get to say I told you so.
Yeah, awesome. Talk to you guys soon.
All the best. Take